Welcome and thanks for joining me for the Gut Health 3.0, taking care of our God-given bodies from the inside out. My name is Leah Kline, Health and Wholeness Coach, and I will be your host. Today I'm being joined by Christine Esters. Thank you for being here.
Bonjour, hello, and it's very important and great for me to meet everyone.
All right, and she's going to be talking about natural solutions for healing your mind, body, and soul. A little background before we get going here. Christine Esters received her elementary teacher certificate from Belgium, where she was born, and she has devoted herself to natural healing for the last 35 years. Christine had 2 healthy boys at home without doctors, midwives, or vaccinations. After having liver pain, she began a personal quest to find the root of disease and started a cleansing lifestyle. Christine received training from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, where she trained more than 100 dietary theories and studied a variety of practical lifestyle coaching methods. Drawing on her knowledge, she developed a 10-day Better Body Cleanse. Christine is a certified digestive health coach and a certified one-act colon hydrotherapist instructor, certified vibrational kinesiologist, VK certified massage therapist, CMT aromatherapist, and Reiki master. She's certified other colon hydrotherapists and teaches them to start their own practices. So let's get started with why can't you just eat whatever you want?
A very good question is basically when you eat whatever you want, you're going to create whatever you want body. So an easy way to check that out is you eat something and then how do you feel? Because it goes first to your stomach. So 5 minutes after you eat, how do you feel that I feel after eating something, some kind of food, for example, some rice. And then how do you feel 2 hours after? Because then your food is starting in your small intestine. So really checking our body out after each time we eat is a very important thing because it creates our reality.
Mm-hmm. And what does it mean to you to take care of our God-given bodies from the inside out?
What it means is health starts in the colon. Colon is like the sewage of the body. So when you have a house, one of the foundation of the house is to create a sewage container to just gather all what we just excrete, even out of a house. So it's the same with the body. When the body eats something, it has to come out. And it has to come out, and it's going to be part going into the mouth, the esophagus, the stomach, the small intestine, and the large intestine. So the colon is a sewage of what we put in our mouth. And the sewage is going to be clean, the sewage is going to be dry, the sewage is going to be wet, and it's going to let us know what's happening inside of our body, the whole body, mind, body, and spirit.
Mm-hmm. And when did you first start learning about
what
got you onto that in the first place?
When I moved to this country 40 years ago from Belgium, I realized the American system, the medical American system was not working and it was expensive. So I started experimenting on myself of how to deal with whatever was happening with my body. And I started this long journey of discovery. That means me and what I was doing and researching a natural way to heal. And that started my journey. And I had kids And they were part of my experimentation. It was like, okay, here we are. How are we going to deal naturally with whatever is happening to the body? And they were two great accepting kids to be there with me in my experimentation. And now they are 34 and 37 and never went to the doctor, never had vaccines, and are just learning on their own the same way that I did. 16 years ago, I went to a lecture, and I told my teacher who was there, I say, you know, I must be very clean because I did fasting, I did enema, I was on raw food for a year, all kind of different cleaning experimentation. And she looked at my eyes and she said, oh no, I can see that you need much more cleansing. And that started, now the next part of my health is to do a 10-day cleanse with her, of colon hydrotherapy with her, and a liver cleanse. And when I saw what came out of my body during this 10-day everyday cleanse, I knew I couldn't go back being a massage therapist, because I knew why people were in pain. They would come and see me for a massage, but when I discovered why they were in pain, I had to train and become a colon hydrotherapist and a nutritionalist to be able to help people to change the reality of health.
So could you kind of explain that connection a little more of how somebody's having pain and probably in other parts of their body, but it's actually something that's going on down in their gut? So.
Yeah, exactly. So what I see on a regular basis is when people do colon hydrotherapy, I see pretty much parasite coming out of people every single day. So it's one of the reality that first nobody wants to address, but it's there. And nobody can read it either, because until they really see what comes out, nobody believes it. So that's one of the things, parasite. Candida. I see yeast and candida coming out of people on a regular basis, almost everybody also. Another thing is mucus. Lots of like globules of mucus. So it's all kind of things who are coming out of the sewage. Now, the colon is 5 foot long. The large intestine is 5 foot long. And each part of the colon relates to a different organs. It's like our hands reflexology or the foot reflexology, the colon reflexology. So the colon has each part of the body in it. So the part relating to the anus and the cecum is related to the left kidney, the left leg, the left groin. And then we go up. The descending colon is relating to stomach and spleen. Above, the left lung, left heart, left shoulder. In the flexure, it's related to the left jaw, left ear, left eye. Then the transverse, the left side is related to left brain, the right side is related to right brain. And then we go to the right side of the intestine. The flexure is related to the right eye and the right ears and the right medulla. And then we go into the right lungs, right heart, right shoulder, liver, gallbladder, and right kidney and legs. So the whole body is in our colon. So when any part of the colon is impacted by mucus or parasites or candida, it's affecting the other organ, because the organs cannot download toxins to the sewage system.
So it's the connection between the two is, causing there to be.
So for example, people would have like a mucus in the transverse colon. So if that is impacted with mucus, where is it space for the organ corresponding to, and it's the brain, corresponding to that part of the colon to download toxins? Nowhere to be able to download toxins. So the organ fill up with toxin that cannot be released in the sewage. So when the organs start building or keeping all those toxins, it starts creating pain, because the pain is really toxins accumulating in an organ.
Okay, so in other words, we're talking upstream from the toxin elimination. Creating the block here is pushing things, back up because it's not being able to eliminate.
Exactly. Plus, what runs in the whole body? Blood.
Mm-hmm.
What organ cleans the blood? The liver. So it will be like an oil change. We have trained ourselves to do that on our cars on a regular basis. We don't look at the car and say, oh my gosh, no, I will not do an oil change. No, my car doesn't need an oil change. No, we have been trained that if we don't do an oil change, the car doesn't run.
Yeah.
And if we start realizing after my oil change on the car, my car purrs. It's like, so, it's smooth. And nobody and no doctor has been addressing the body when the body is not giving itself an oil change through cleansing the liver. The body has the same thing. It start not functioning and start creating pain, inflammations, and all the disease condition, because all what it is toxins. So one of the things I like to tell my clients is, you are not sick, you are toxic. Mm-hmm. Because when we decide we are sick, we are victim. We don't know where to go. But mm-hmm. if we look at ourselves and say, okay, I am toxic, we know where it's coming from. It's toxins. Toxins accumulating in different organs of the body. It can be the liver, it can be the kidney, the colon, the lungs, the blood, the brain. So a simple way of looking at health is toxins really create the pain in the body.
All right. That was very interesting. I've heard parts of that, but not all of that. Be a different perspective for people that are listening, which is good. And what are some of the different kinds of gut challenges? We've kind of talked about some, but what are some examples?
So one is indigestion, feeling nauseous, heartburn, acid reflux, diarrhea, constipation. For me, probably everyone is pretty much constipated, because even if people think they are not constipated, when they come and see me, it's amazing what comes out of the body. So for me, it's one of the big things, because when people have a clear large intestine, they feel so good. Everybody's thanking me after they leave because the body is so light. Another one is food intolerance, allergies, candida, the GERD disease condition, the leaky gut, IBS, and those are all the ones.
Well, the common ones there.
Like you say, it's common, because it's other thing. Most of the people come and see me and say, oh, I have stomach pain. So, that's...
Yeah, you're going, okay, what part of the body really?
Yeah. And the stomach actually is higher than the colon. So it's really, okay, is it your stomach or is it your colon? But most of them have pain, and they have been searching for a long time. And the doctor tells them that all the tests are good and healthy, and they don't understand why the pain. And when I see them, what comes out of their colon, I show them each time after each session, and they can see, hear this, I just did that, that's the result. And they can understand why is the pain.
Yeah. So, speaking of, the constipation, how often, in your opinion, should somebody be having number 2?
So, pooping. Let's have a pooping conversation. The optimal is after each meal, have a bowel movement.
Yeah.
Now, most of people are having maybe bowel movement once a day in the morning. And the reason they have a bowel movement is because they drink coffee. If they wouldn't drink coffee, they wouldn't have a bowel movement. So what I tell people is if you're drinking coffee and you have a bowel movement, don't think you're not constipated. It's just the coffee who is activating the digestive system that moves everything. If you wouldn't have coffee, you wouldn't have a bowel movement. So 3 after each meal is optimal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So even at one time a day, that's very minimal.
Yeah, because some people, so men have more bowel movement than women. One thing. Women's large colon is 10-inch longer than men. Women are much more constipated than men. And one of the reasons is because they are not having enough magnesium. Still, I don't understand why there, because both have the same diet sometimes, but magnesium is a big part. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and I've found that to be helpful lots of times is more magnesium, and with women especially. And then it also has a connection with PMS and things, cramping and things like that. Any kind of cramping, whether it's period or anything else. Usually it has to do with magnesium. There's a lot of it.
Yeah. Now it would be nice to find a sustainable way of eating where we would have the magnesium in our diet, because it's ridiculous to keep taking something, but I'm still learning about that, how to figure that out.
Yeah, it is challenging. It's one of those things that we frequently are not getting enough of.
Yeah.
And part of it, of course, may be connected with the amount of cow dairy, we're getting, which is really, really high on the calcium. So it's kind of throwing off all our ratios in our body, because we're not getting magnesium really from that. We're just getting the calcium, assuming we can assimilate. But anyway, side issue. But yeah, that is a huge factor I have seen. What's been your experience as far as fiber and its impacts on the bowel movements and having more of them?
First, I would say before fiber, we need to look at water.
Yeah.
How much water? Because each client who come has the same story. How much water are you drinking? 4, 5 glass. And so what I recommend is a gallon of water a day. Start it early in the morning because we are empty in the morning.
Yeah, we're dehydrated, yeah.
Yeah, the brain is dehydrated, the body is dehydrated. So what I suggest is drink a quart or a liter or 4 glasses first thing in the morning. Do not debate, wonder, wait, just do it. And then 4 glasses before lunch. 4 glasses mid-afternoon, especially when your energy drops down, because most of the time it's because you are dehydrated, and 4 glasses before dinner. So that will be the first recommendation. That is for the rest of your life. It's really a must. And I have this conversation, I don't know how many times a day, because people don't drink enough water. So we look at what's your resistance to water. Is it the taste? Is it what you drink out of? Is it because you are too busy? Because really, it's like wine. Water can have a great taste or not good taste. So we start researching that. About fiber. Fiber is very important. But again, what kind of fiber? Some people like psyllium seeds. What I find is psyllium seed can be very constipating for some people. So one of my rules with anything is do it and experiment. How does it work for your body? Because my body is different than your body, and who knows, it could work for you. Another one will be chia seeds. It's a great fiber. It's easy. You can make chia pudding out of it and have that
all the time.
Yeah, and it tastes delicious. Another one is flax seeds. For some people, flax seeds, it's one of the easy components for fiber. Or have more vegetable, 7 vegetables a day. I find that people don't eat enough vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
So when we are hungry, really think first vegetable.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what we need to eat more anyway. But now the thing is, lots of people are in a hurry or too busy to do all that. So really finding a sustainable way of eating fiber is really important, like the water, sustainable.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, like with water, I mean, I have a water bottle that, goes with me everywhere I go pretty much. And so that also means I know how much I've drunk, because that has instead of this, glass here, glass there, and you have to add them up and try to figure out how much was in the cup. Water bottles work great.
But you see, that's your system. For some people, like for me, I need to drink those 4 at the same time. If not, I will not drink, because I don't like to carry water. It's too much for me to carry the water. So anytime before an activity or before going shopping, I drink my water, my 4 glasses, and then I don't have to carry. For some people, they like sip. So carrying and having sips is important. Another way would be having a glass every hour. So everybody needs to find the rhythm that they will have their water. Something, a way that it makes them happy with their lifestyle. Yeah,
and mine's not, a sip per se most of the time. It's sitting there, and so it reminds me, and so then it's like, oh shoot, I haven't drank enough. And so then I'll drink more because I know I'm under, what I should have drunk already. And so then I'll drink third, half the container, and then make up for lost time a little bit that way. So it's it's part of it's just a reminder to do it, because it's like, if I don't see it, I don't do it.
Please.
And one of the things interesting, I have found flaxseed, constipates me.
Here you go.
And psyllium can, but if I'm like making something with it and it has me add hot water to it, then it doesn't have that effect. It, then it just, great bowel movements, everything else, but it seems to make a difference whether or not. So it's like I'm modifying some recipes that are using that as a thickener in it, and going, okay, how can I add boiling water to this?
That's what I mean. It's an experimentation for all of us.
Yeah, it's a little bit, here and there, and I haven't found a way that flaxseed actually, works. Of course, I haven't tried boiling water on it, but I happen to have a recipe that did that. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going, okay, this recipe didn't have, what's the difference? This one I'm feeling constipated, this one I'm not. What's the difference between? And it was like, okay, this one has me put, a quarter of a cup of boiling water in there and mix it up right before I'm cooking it. That's not happening on this other recipe. It's like, okay, well, there must be something, heat activation here that's improving how it's working for me. But it is very much of figuring out your body, and it is challenging figuring out how to get enough vegetable, fiber, to keep everything, moving through. Because it's kind of like it's your bulk to, keep everything going. So it's easier for it to push it on through.
And then it's fiber and fiber. Like, what has more fiber, an apple or a peach? An apple.
Apple, I would think, yeah.
So apple is much more enticing to be used as a fiber than a peach. Mm-hmm. What has more fiber, a butternut squash or a zucchini?
Butternut.
Butternut squash. So it's fiber and fiber. Another great one for constipation is papaya. Papaya has lots of fiber, and it's a great one to have first thing in the morning to just have an easy bowel movement.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, you're getting some enzymes, at the same time.
Yes.
Double benefits.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is very interesting. And So what are some, we've talked about some of these different gut challenges. What are some other things? Obviously, we've talked about water. We've talked about fiber. What are some other things that have been helpful when you're working with people that have gut challenges like we talked about?
One of the other way is to really connect with your gut. Slow down.
No.
Close your eyes and travel with your body and feel what's happening. Mm-hmm. One of the great way with meditation is you stop on some points where it's pain. Mm-hmm. And I just realized that when you stop on those points, it's like having an acupuncture treatment on your body. Mm-hmm. The meditation, just stopping, open up that part and start moving. I remember Kline, he would always visualize food moving through his colon, starting at the ileosacral valve and going around, and he would just visualize a whole hour. So visualization and feelings. Mm-hmm. When you are on medication are going to constipate you. So people have to keep that in mind, that if you are on medication, it's going to dry out your system. Mm-hmm. So increase the water. Eat more fermented food. The fermented food is going to develop a good bacteria for the colon. What kind of fermented food? I like to make my own cocobiotic. The recipe for the cocobiotic is on my blog. Eat more sauerkraut or kimchi. Have some kombucha. Mm-hmm. So fermented food is really good for the guts. Maybe take a journal, have a journal and start write down what you eat to just discover, because I discover people, we all have those secrets about our food habits and we don't even know what is our secrets. So writing it down is a great way to discover what's happening or what's in the way of our digestion. Mm-hmm. Another thing is bioorganic. Be sure to look at bioorganic. And then eat more oils. It would be like you have a pipe. What do we want to put in a pipe? Rocks or suds? Suds equal oil, so the oil have an easier way to make the food slide through.
Lubrication, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so you want to help it move on through.
Easy, slide. And then eat less sugar. Eat less sugar. And so if you are really on sugar, is what I suggest is, for example, if you eat 3 donuts, the first week, eat 2 donuts and 1 banana. The second week, eat 1 donut and 2 bananas. And the third week, eat 3 bananas. So find a way to get off the sugar in an easy way if it's important for you to do it like that. For some people, they can get cold turkey into not eating sugar. Some people, they have to gently get off sugar. Mm-hmm. And then gluten.
Yeah.
Let's look at, I really feel if we eat less gluten and less bread and less carb, our gut is much happier. But for some people, they need the carbs. So again, it's an experimentation.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, all carbs are not created equal. There's a lot of variety. And a lot of, grain carbs, a lot of variety in that, and a lot of variety in the vegetable carbs, wide variety.
Yes.
So, yeah, and obviously, as we're talking about, while you have more sugars from, like, the winter type squash, at the same time, you have more fiber from what we were talking about earlier. So I think it's a prebiotic, I believe. So so it has its benefits, and a lot of this, it's combined together. If you separate it out, and you just have the straight sugar, it would be worse. But if you have all that fiber with it, your body handles it, differently.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the fiber also down in your gut.
Another way for me is to make smoothies. I love making smoothies because I can combine all that I need for my vegetable and my fruit, and I travel with my smoothies. So that's my way. My digestive system likes that. It keeps my energy nice and stable for the whole day. So smoothie is one of my way of eating.
How much vegetable to fruit do you usually do?
I like to suggest one vegetable for one fruit, but in each one of my smoothie, I like to put avocados. So that makes it smooth. And maybe half of a banana and maybe half of a pear, something like that. And then some spinach or some kale or some parsley.
Mm-hmm.
And then add a fiber if you need a fiber, or a protein powder, and nut milk and water.
Mm-hmm.
And for some people, they like a little sweeter. Some people, they like a little more vegetables. So that means just wherever you are, just increase the vegetable if you don't want as much sweet.
Yeah.
And lately, I like to add some good oil. So a tablespoon of coconut oil or almond butter.
Mm-hmm. Which definitely adds to the staying power of it.
Exactly. I mean, we have to feed us. I have to feed myself the whole day. So by having more oil in it, it keeps my craving for sugar much lower.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So what are some tips our listeners can do? We've kind of, some of these probably talked about, but that they can do today, right now, to improve their gut health and take better care of their bodies? I mean, water would probably be one of those.
First, that's the bottom line. Water, fiber, oil, and then the fermented food. And I would suggest fermented food at each meal. It can be a probiotic, and I like to take my probiotic actually before I go to bed. It can be for dinner a little side dish of sauerkraut. It can be before your meals having a shot of cocobiotic or kombucha. So those will be, and then slow down, because we are all so much in a hurry, and the body has to be with us, keep up with us. So those will be the biggest part. And look for toxins. Listen to your body. So if you don't feel good, let's look at which toxins are in the way. So if your body's toxic, what are you going to do to remove the toxins? So the toxins has to come out of our colon, because that's where the sewage system of our body. So pooping more is it's the most important thing to feel better. Mm-hmm. And half of our poop is food, half is cell poop. So it's not, everything is not food, it's just coming out of the body, out of the whole body, the cells and the food. And fiber, that's what fiber is really good for. It just takes all the toxins out. So when we don't eat fiber, the toxins don't move out of the body. So fiber is a so important one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what is your free gift for our listeners today?
My free gift is to download this fabulous step-by-step to cleanse your colon. What is the most important thing to cleanse your colon? Just follow the steps. Mm-hmm. And you will realize that by really connecting with your colon, you'll connect with your whole body. And I give precise step of how to do maybe a 10-day cleanse on your own, and to use fresh smoothies, juice, and soups daily. Mm-hmm. I really believe in soft food. So when people come and cleanse with me, I suggest them to do soft food, and soft food is something you don't really need to chew, like juice, smoothies, and soups. So in my offering, I give you a whole day of smoothie, juice, and soups to do to cleanse your colon. So that is my gift.
Okay, great. And if people want to connect with you and learn more, how would they go about doing that?
They will look at adventureinwellbeing.com. I have a great website with lots of education, lung cleanse to do at home, colon cleanse to do at home. I'm ready to create a liver cleanse to do at home. And really, step by step, just take maybe out of one cleanse, and I suggest just take one day. And one day you change what you are doing and do something different. Mm-hmm. And that will be a great, and I have a great resource and great blogs. I wrote blogs on different fermented food to have a better digestion. So that's the resource. Christine Esters with Adventure in Wellbeing at adventureinwellbeing.com.
All right, that is great. Thank you, Christine, for being here today.
Welcome, you're welcome. À la prochaine. See you another time.
All right, and thank you everyone for listening. Come back tomorrow for more of the Gut Health 3.0.